Hey, Peace and Positivity Reflections, good energy to all. So in this video, I just wanted to share an experience I had a few weeks ago concerning my Babylonian parents here in this house. And the theme of this experience is going to be like my personal testimony and using objective facts and good logic to navigate a tense situation and bring about a good um, result, a positive result for all parties. And this is due to the teachings of the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy, Commander-in-Chief of the Earth Plane. So thank you very much, Master Teacher, my higher self. Thanks, much love. But this, so what happened is basically, the house has been sold. I mean, not sold, but agreed upon. Well, now it's been technically been sold, but at the time, they'd come to an agreement on the price after some back and forth. So all that was needed was to get the signatures of both my mom and my father. And my dad, he's known about what the proceedings and everything the whole time going up to. And but right before they finally got like the papers all ready to be signed and stuff, he got an infection on his leg, his knee, and he had to go to the ER because it was really bad. He was getting sick. Like we rushed him to the ER, and he had to stay there for a while. He actually had to get surgery done because the infection happened. It spread up into under recent surgery he had, and that it messed with his whole surgery healing. And they were like, "Yeah, we got to go in and basically recut you and sew you back up." So he had to stay in the ER for a couple of days. And while he was recovering in the ER, the papers came back, and the official contract had been signed and notarized, and everything was ready for both my parents and the buyers to sign and get this thing done with both realtors also. Um, and so we had to go to the hospital to get the papers signed, to have my dad sign the papers. And so we went there. I came along just to say hi. I wasn't going along to try to muscle him into signing them or anything like that. In fact, they'd already agreed upon it verbally on the phone the night prior. So I was like, cool, it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm just gonna roll along and say hi to him, make sure he's doing okay and stuff like that. And that's all I did. And everything was cool while we were there. And he signed. It was no big deal. And we came back. And then it was cool, and until he got home a few days later, and he started having second thoughts, and he started accusing my mom of bullying him to sign the papers. He started accusing the realtors of like backstabbing and bullying him. He thought the buyers were just like being evil, like crazy people, and just kind of like totally not thinking clearly at all. And he got so bad where he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull out of this deal, and we're not gonna do this," and like this is like killing my mom because we're at a point where we've been trying to do this for years. She's had to borrow money from all different various sources. She's paying money for another location that she's gonna live at. Like it's stretched super, like it can't go any thinner type thing. Like the next step would almost be some type of serious foreclosure or something like that. And so for my dad to pull this at the very end when everything's been, agreed upon and um, all that, it was very hard. It was very hard on her, and it's understandable. And I saw her, and my heart went out, and I was, I immediately just was like, like what he's saying isn't true. Like you're not a bully, mom. And I had her. We sat down. We looked up the word bully, and I went back to what Master Teacher says. Like when people insult, when they use when you insult people, when you send out negativity, that's you. Since we are all expressions and reflections of each other, essential extensions of each other, you're insulting yourself. In actuality, a lot of times when you say some bad stuff, it's because you got bad stuff in you and you're trying to get that onto somebody else. And like he was actually being the bully in the situation, calling somebody else a bully. My mom was one of the sweetest, very kind human beings. Very kind, very empathic, very sensitive. Definitely not a bully at all. So I was just like, this is crazy. And like he's really thinking that she's like doing this, and like my dad's very stubborn. So I'm like, oh, this is bad. But, just like objectively, I was like, no, this is ridiculous. We're not going to let him control the situation. This is crazy. He can do what he wants to. If he wants to pull out from the deal, fine. Not a big deal. We're still going to leave. You still have your house set. I'm going to go and do my thing. And he can stay in this house by himself if he wants to do that and do what he's got to do on his own. But we're not staying here. And you can call the bank and you can talk to them and you just got to be honest. You just got to be honest with people and be like, I'm doing everything I can to get this done. We had a house, we had the deal, we had the buyers, everything was a go, and he just decided to, you know, pull out at the last minute. There's nothing I can do about it other than leave him and try to separate as much as I can financially and, just physically, completely, because obviously they're vibrating at different frequencies. But and she, I told her that, and she saw the sense. She was like, okay, all right, it's not the end of the world. Like there's always another way. There's always a way around the obstacles. And this was the lesson that I was trying to instill into her and to myself too. While I'm talking about this, because this is a lesson I'm still learning, is that there is always a way around. Every problem has an opportunity, in disguise. That's what's so good about having a healthy perception is that it gives you the good energy and effort and ability to see all the different, you know, capabilities, and ways around. And if you've got that good type of energy and ability, then you can deduce your situation down to, the basics and see what is good and what is not good and focus on the good and the righteous and the right way of dealing with it. And if the other people get along board, then great, and if others don't, then they don't. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. And I told her this, and I calmed her down, and she sent these, she told my dad, like, this is not, I was like, be honest, tell him that, like, you don't want to be with him, like, you think that he's being a bully, like, he's being rude to you, like, tell him he's doing these things, don't keep things so festered, because she would keep things festered, and she'd have trouble communicating how she really felt. And I was like, that's not good. You need to be honest with him. You need to tell him you can't be afraid of him. You can't be afraid of him anymore. You can't be afraid to hurt him if it's the truth, and you can't be afraid of, of speaking up to him, of challenging him when he's not talking truth, when he's talking crazy talk. Like he's clearly talking crazy talk, and you can use your objective logic. Stick to the logic. Stick to the truth. Stick to what's actually going on. His solution for not selling his house is ridiculous. Like the price that you guys have agreed upon is fair. Like you're gonna make a little bit and you're gonna be done with this finally, so that you don't have to keep borrowing money from people. Like he's being crazy right now. His solution makes no sense at all. Makes no rational sense. Just stick to your logic. Stick to the facts. Stick to what makes good rational sense, and keep sending that back to him. Like that'll activate the logical part of his brain, because he is a very logical person. I mean, he taught math for a long time. Like he's just in an emotional state right now, and he's kind of going crazy. So you just gotta continue to repeat back the truth. Continue to repeat back, the facts, the mathematics, and he will see. Have faith, and also do it in, like I said, in a loving way. Don't get angry. Don't let him control you. And that's what I brought up another good point. Like when you let people get you angry, you're letting them kind of have control over you. I think Uplifting Humanity brought that tip up a while back. I don't know where he got it from, but he's absolutely right. My mom was like totally over it, getting emotional about my dad, like him calling her a bully, and I was like, that's. You're letting him control you, and he's talking crazy talk. It's not even true. And she's like, I know, but it just hurts. And I'm like, stop. You gotta think what's right. You gotta listen to, that higher, that truth, the truth that's in your heart, that you need to be able to see. You gotta have that good discernment to separate the BS, and not let his, antics, get the better of you. And these things are, these are hard lessons to learn, man. They really are, especially when, for two people who've been in a relationship for a very long time, and so. But at the end of the day, she was very open. She listened to me, and I did kind of what I I don't know how accurately, but she followed kind of my guidelines, and eventually, Pops just decided to go along with it, and he didn't back out. So everything's been signed, and this deal looks like it's gonna, finally go through. And then my dad actually came back and even apologized to me, and I think he apologized to Mom, for kind of acting crazy and, getting kind of offensive and stuff. So he didn't totally, recant what he did and admit, say, get detailed about his apology, but he did apologize. So, you know, I say that's success. Anytime you can keep a situation from turning worse, and then you also bring about some type of resolution, and then all parties are happy. That's a success story. It may not be the most perfect story, and all this and that. And it was obviously had its bumps in the road, but that's what life is. There's bumps. It's just how we navigate them, how we continue on, how we respond to them. And we keep our high vibrations up. We don't let the low frequency-ness of negativity, anger, hurt, and rejection, and these pains that we don't take responsibility for, because that's really when pain starts to overwhelm us. And I don't mean just the nerve of whatever's going on, like the instant sensation. I'm just saying, like, in general, if you find yourself in a depressed situation, you have we all can have tendencies to blame others when we're in pain, or we can look to that, like, oh, it's this cause, it's that cause, it's that cause, it's that cause, and yeah, that might be the cause. There might be an effect from that area, that vicinity, but we were the cause of that effect. So it goes back to us. All the responsibility goes back to us. The more we take responsibility of everything in our life and every moment of our life, the more godlike we become, the more powerful we become, the purer we become, the less disharmony um, we will incur upon ourselves and the earth. If we are, going, sticking to the righteous path and, obeying, the laws, the 42 laws of Ma'at. So, yeah. So I hope that this video helped just share a personal experience I had with my, two Babylonian biological reflections, and how the teachings of the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy have helped my life. And that's just one example. There's many of them, but this was a current one, and it was also one that I was really I was able to think about what was going on in a more lucid manner than I normally do. So I wanted to share that with you guys and let you guys know, if you do the same, I'm sure it'll have the same, similar type of successful results. So, all right, with that being said, I love myself, and good energy to all. All right, bye.